Stretching my back. Do some calisthenics before the show. Oh, that felt good. Oh, that felt good too. I'm so tired, so sleepy. All right, here we go.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
Well, she got me sick. I'm sick now. God damn it. I thought I was doing good. I thought I was going to escape it. But I didn't. I'll change the background here in a little bit. If you're new to This Is 50, welcome to This Is 50. This is my mental health show. I do this strictly for me. I get all the stuff that happened over the last week or so out of my system so I don't mentally and physically explode inside my own household. My wife appreciates it. She's like, you're doing better. You're doing better. But for the most part, I just do this strictly for me. Because if I tell her the stuff that goes on in my head, she'll leave me. She'll divorce me. She'll be like, well, God, do you really think that way? Yeah, sometimes I do. God, who are you? I don't even know you anymore. 12 years of marriage. But she got me sick. And what happened was I told her, I said, it's because of you that I'm sick. Now, I'm one of those people. I'm like, you ever seen the movie Unbreakable? I rarely get, like, when I say I'm sick, I got a little sinus congestion. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I've got nothing in my chest, nothing, no achies, no, I don't feel like doing anything type stuff. It's just my whole entire sinus and everything just drains. Like when I'm laying on my pillow at night, literally like there's a puddle of snot and tears and stuff because nobody loves me. No, I mean on my pillow, and I have to move over and, you know, that one nostril doesn't want to work. The other one's like trying to pick up for both parties and all that. And I didn't tell my wife. I didn't want to, you know, say you got me sick. And then like day number 3 and cotton mouth because I'm taking like allergy medicine to dry everything out. She's like, God, you were snoring like a friggin' chainsaw last night. I said, babe, well, you got me sick. She's like, I got you sick. I said, no, what's happened is in reality, the viruses got into your body, okay? They saw me. You know, me and you are basically joined at the hip. The viruses saw you or saw me and said, there's no way we can get into that guy. There's no way we can get in that guy. He's impenetrable. But he has a partner. His wife. We'll go through her. She's a little bit weaker. So the germs infiltrated my wife, build up their defense system or their attack system, weaken my wife's defense system, build up enough, and then leap from my wife to me. We're strong enough. We can take them. It's like Lord of the Rings or whatever. Not that I've seen Lord of the Rings because I have no idea, but it's this group of germs in Roman attire that leaped from my wife to me, and now I was like, I'm not doing cocaine. I'm just doing like snots and stuff. So I'm a little puffy. If you're watching us here on the YouTube channel, we live stream the first segment, and then you can watch the rest of the show later on at your leisure. Sorry, I got too much other stuff going on, so you only get the first segment if you're live. And then you have to watch it later on. Because I said so. It's my show. I think I said that twice before. Maybe not. I don't know. So I'm a little bit sick. This happened on Monday, was the worst. Kind of struggled through it. And it's always better when you get up, you know, out of bed. You're laying in bed and you're like going, oh, my head feels like 1,000 pounds. You get up and you let everything just kind of drain. You're coughing and spitting out lung mustard all day long for a while, for at least an hour, and then you drink your coffee and you you breathe that coffee in and your sinuses open up and everything's good and you go on about your day. This is day number 5 and I'm good. I sometimes go have lunch by myself. Now, when I say I have lunch by myself, there's a motive to the reason why I go have lunch by myself. It's because I'm spying on someone. Oh, yeah. I'm just spying on someone, making myself available, making, me in the peripheral of them having lunch because I have a plan. I do have a plan. And it involves this show at the same time. So that's your tease. We'll take a quick little break and I'll just take a quick little break and we'll come back and talk about some other stuff that went on. I got my doctor's appointment or my doctor results back and I went to a dentist appointment. So there you go. That'll carry you through the music break that we have here. So stick around. I'll be right back. All right, guys, if you're watching this on the live streaming, see you later. Go do something productive. Say goodbye. Well, my neighbor died. Oh, I know. I knew him. He's the glue. When I say the glue, his property, the way our lots are set up, his property, he has 8 acres. And we have 22 some odd acres, and then there's like a parcel in between the two of us that's like an acre and a half. But his property takes up the whole entire corner of not an intersection, the main road, and then a side street. So his property takes up 8 acres on that corner there. He was a retired preacher at the time when I first met him. When we moved in, I think he was 82 years old, and we've been here for 14 years on the property that we have here. And he would go out there at 82, 83. He always talked about his diabetes, and he was, retired preacher from all the stuff. He did a lot of woodworking and stuff, as one does if you're a preacher, carpenter type thing. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But still, when I do my walk, I walk by his house. My walk. I run by his house. He's the first house on the street that I go down. So I go down and make my lap at the cul-de-sac, and I make my way back up, and I see a fire truck, an EMT truck, and that's about it. So I'm like, oh man, I hope he's all right. And my neighbor Angie from Tennessee, Travis, what's going on over there? What the hell's happening? Angie, I don't know. Well, do you think he's okay? Is Mr. Charlie okay? I said, well, he's not dead because they would have had a coroner there. They would have had someone to take him, coroner van and put the body in with the bag and everything and take him away. I said, so I didn't see a coroner's van there. Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Okay. But maybe he had a little spell or something. Come to find out, a week later, Angie comes up to me. She's like, yep, Mr. Charlie died. I said, oh, man, for real? What happened? Well, he's got diabetes. I go, I know. Every time I talk to him, he always talks about his diabetes and everything. But he takes care. I mean, he's out there on his very, very nice John Deere zero turn. He's out there mowing because it's all, just grass and stuff. 8 acres of it. And he just goes, he mows all day long. And he always used to say, whatever makes mama happy. So I found out that he was taken to hospice, and that's why there was no coroner there. He was alive, and then within 3 hours, that was it. Doop. He didn't make it. Now, I don't know what was going on inside the household. I don't know, if he was, people were visiting him, or he had like a nurse come by and take care of him, twice a day, how they do that. But they moved him to hospice and he died. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because his property like I said, is a corner lot, 8 acres on a corner lot. And the road that I run on, they're slowly parceling it out and putting houses on it. And the houses have to be more than, I think, 3 acres or about 3 acres. And he's got a corner lot. One house. I think the house is like 1,800 square feet. So I don't know if they're going to sell the house. Of course, I don't want to say they have to sell the house. I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. You're such an ass, Trav. Go down there and talk to him. What am I going to say? I'm sorry for your loss. Yes, I know. I could say that. But they're homebodies. They stay inside the house. Knock on the door, dipshit. I know. Shut up. I know. I feel bad already. I do. I feel bad already. I was going to buy him a stuffed animal. Not him. I was going to buy his wife a stuffed animal and some flowers and say, sorry for your loss type deal. But I'm worried. My selfish brain goes, I'm worried because what are they going to do with that lot? His house is built. It's a red brick home. And he's got a red brick outbuilding where his woodworking shop was, or still is. And I'm like, are they going to level this? Are they're going to chop that up and sell off? Because you can put about another 2 houses on his lot there. And are we at that point where our house, is development is taking over our area, which is fine. I mean, I prefer, more taxes in the Coffeckers and is it Coffeckers? Yeah, we'll go with that one. Taxes in our Coffeckers, and Sir Coffeckers is what he's in. I know, bad joke. Sorry, don't mean the kid in front of death. But, one of the things that my wife and I, when we first moved in, or after several years of moving in here, we're like going, God, there's nothing going on out here. Maybe we made the wrong decision of buying this property out here in the middle of nowhere. And now over the last 5-6 years, they're starting to develop this area. I'm like, well, maybe we should stick around a little bit. I mean, our house price value has tripled in the last 8 years. So I'm like, I'll sit here. I'll put new windows in here. We just had our bathroom redone, remodeled completely, gutted and everything. And, nice, beautiful, larger walk-in shower, all the stuff that, when you do a bathroom remodel. Maybe we'll sit on this property for a little bit, but I'm worried about what's going to happen to his property. Is it going to be commercialized? Is it going to be, we'll divvy it up and, chop it up and put, 3 or 4 houses on it. Now, the good thing about putting the houses on that lot is that the person, there's something, I forget what my wife says. There's something in the stipulations. If you build on these lots in this area, it has to be a house over 2,000 square feet. It has to be sitting on 3 acres. It has to have, this, and it has to have that. It can't be a mobile home. It can't be a 4-point house. If you don't know what a 4-point house is, look it up. It has to have a brick structure. It can't be a prefabbed house or a manufactured home. Not a mobile home, a prefab home where they do the base and everything. They come and drop the house on it and then, assemble the roof and assemble all the stuff. It has to be a solid structure house. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Am I worried about it? No. I mean, it'll be interesting how it unfolds. My wife thinks she's the worst wife ever. No. I'm like, babe, and it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't, read between the lines type deal. And I did something I thought I was doing right. I thought I was being what's the word I'm looking for? The person that the hopeless romantic is where I was going with that. The hopeless romantic, can't do anything wrong. You're beautiful. Everything's good. This is just a token. It was our 12-year anniversary. And what I got her brought her to tears. Not to tears, but she was like, oh, man. And I'll dive into that too. And also the doctor and dentist appointment. Don't worry. I'll get you caught up on all that stuff too. So stick around. I'll be right back. Thought I put that on mute. Guess I didn't. I know. I got a lot of stuff out there floating in the winds that need to be completed as far as the stories that I'm telling you. Me sitting at this restaurant. It's a not a bistro. It's not a bar. Well, it is a bar. It's a biker type bar. And I go to this biker bar. But I was doing it normally. I was like, oh, great. Stop by, have a couple beers, and it's within my safe zone as far as having a couple beers and driving home. Not that I'm getting sloshed or anything. I'll have like 2-3 beers over an hour and a half time and then get in the car and mow everyone down. No, I'm just kidding. And then I found out that this group of people were eating lunch at a certain time at the bar. And I'm like going, well, I didn't know that, but now that's a good insight. So I started stalking them. Not stalking them. That sounds worse. So I started just kind of spying on them a little bit. I'll dive into that story here in a little bit. Came back from the doctor's office. Everything's good. Yep. One-legged nurse and the doctor who had a full beard in his profile picture, who was going on Tinder dates during my examination. Yeah. Swipe left. Yeah. Swipe left. And I got a numbness in my back. Yeah. Swipe left, swipe right. Is right good or left good? I forget like I've done it. No, not that I've done it. Just anyways, I'm spiraling here. All my numbers checked out. I'm good. Everything is normal. They give you a bracket. All my blood work came back good. The only things that came back bad, and I've been dealing with the bad stuff for a very, very long time. Blood pressure, always high when I go there, but here at home, I post it on This Is 50 Facebook page now and then. Usually like right before I watch the Magic game or something, I'll put, and put that up there for you. So you can follow us over on Facebook as well. This Is 50 over on Facebook, and check us out. And the only 2 or 3 numbers that were bad was, of course, my Triglides. Thank you, Busch Light. But let me tell you something. Over my last 6 visits, because it'll show you, your graph trend. It has trended downward. And the highest normal that you can get on the Triglides is 200. Before that was like, 293 and 285, and then it was like 262. This past time, I'm right at 200. Yes, I'm good. All my other numbers are good. My cholesterol is just a little bit high, but that comes with eating eggs, 3 eggs every morning for however many days a week, however many weeks in the year, and all that stuff. It's expected. So the doctor basically goes, I don't see anything that sends up a red flag, so you're good to go, Travis. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to go back and see if I can hook up with Chelsea here on the app. All right, thanks there, Dr. Schumacher? I forget his name. Weird. And my dentist appointment went as good as it could be. I'm fortunate enough that my wife's insurance, our dental insurance, we get 6 cleanings between the two of us. Now, I've had a lot of work done on this beautiful smile. If you're watching this here on the YouTube channel, This Is 50 over on YouTube. This beautiful smile right here has taken a lot of work, a lot of cutting and scraping and moving things around. Not that my teeth were bad, but it was left over from when I had braces and my mom didn't follow up with the care that I needed to have things corrected. So, of course, now I'm in my 50s, got all that corrected. So I get 4 cleanings a year. My wife gets the 2 cleanings a year. She never really had any problems with her teeth. She did the Invisalign. She's fine. She's really, really good with her teeth. But the problem was this past time I went to the dentist. I know everyone's like going, Jesus, doctor, dentist, land plots. Yeah, I know. It's a fun-filled show. Believe me, I'm trying to make it as entertaining as possible. But these are the things so I don't explode in my head in the household. The dentist, I almost said gynecologist, oral hygienist, does my teeth. And the place that I'm going to, they rotate them out. I mean, they're a dime a dozen at this place. Some will use that water drill. I know everyone's holding their molars. This one, younger gal, did the hook the whole entire time. And I love the hook. I prefer the hook better than the water drill. I don't know if it does any better or does any good. I think the water drill might be lazy. It's like pressure washing your, if you got a dirty vehicle, it's like pressure washing your vehicle or going out there and physically hand washing your vehicle. That's the difference between the two. And I said to her, and she starts scraping and stuff, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna find out a bunch of stuff. The reason why I say that is because for 2 weeks I was out of the country. I didn't have my normal floss and water pick and toothbrush and all that stuff. I was out of my routine. And then, of course, when we come back, we had another week and a half of the bathroom being remodeled. So my wife and I are literally the bathroom that I completely, crime scened in. We're sharing that, so I don't have the water pick and stuff like that. And so I'm out of my routine. And I told her, I said, I'm out of my routine and stuff. Oh, well, is everything back in routine? Yeah, everything's fine now. Okay. A little bleeding right here. I'm like, yeah, on the right-hand side. And then a little bleeding up here. I'm like, yeah, that's where I had all the surgery done and everything. She's like, okay, well, everything looks good. I'm like, okay, good. See you later. Bye. Hasta la bye-bye. So my doctor's good. Triglides are coming down. My teeth are a little bloody. I'm back in my routine. I'm doing good, baby. I'm doing good. 12-year anniversary. My wife says don't buy anything for us for our anniversary. And I fucked up. I bought something for her for her anniversary. Well, excuse me while I go through puberty. That's that cold kicking in. Fellas, if your wife or girlfriend tells you not to buy anything for their birthday, anniversary, Christmas, whatever it is, and you go, okay, and you don't, what happens?
I know I said you're not supposed to buy me anything, but you're supposed to buy me something just to say that you love me.
That's not my wife, but I'm just saying, fellas out there, all you know exactly. You've seen it in movies. A lot of you probably have experienced that. And I'm a hopeless romantic to a degree. I like to leave my wife notes all the time throughout the house. If she's gone on, on a horse trip or something, I'll sneak something in her luggage somewhere. And she'll get there and say, oh, he loves me. Or when she comes home, I'll make, and they're all over the garage, our beautiful 3-car garage. There's notes all over, like on poster board or a piece of drywall or something. When she pulls into the garage from her trip, there's always something. I've drawn something. We all miss you. Love horses, cats, dogs. All that, and it's all over the place. And she keeps them. She keeps them around, and that's the romantic thing that I like to do for her. So this past Sunday was our 12-year anniversary. Now, if you're just catching up with the show, my wife and I just spent 2 weeks. We went to London. We went to Paris. Gay Paris. And then we went to Amsterdam. Gay sex Paris. No, there was no gay sex there. But I mean, it could be. I don't know. It's an open place. It's a pretty liberal development there. So she says, do not buy me anything or do not buy us anything for Thanksgiving. We just had the bathroom remodeled. Wasn't cheap. We just went on our little over 2 week vacation. That wasn't cheap. She's like, babe, don't buy me anything. Okay, I won't. Shit-eating grin on my face. So I look it up. What's a 12-year anniversary? And I'm at Walmart, mind you. And she's out of town. She's at a horse thing for the weekend. And I go, what's 12 years? All right, 12 years. And I'm looking on my phone. Do you know what 12 years is? Anniversary gift? Traditional gift? Linens or some kind of material with her name embroidered in it. And I'm standing at Walmart like, nope, not doing that one. Another one is silk or fine threads. I said, well, I could probably find something silk here, like bathrobe or socks or something. So I'm walking through the aisles, and I go, you know what I need? I just happen to go down the sheets, the bedding sheets. Now, don't ever sleep on silk sheets. Those are for doing the deed. Like a job application. Because they suck to sleep on. So I bought her silk pillowcases. And I say silk pillowcases, silky pillowcases. I bought a set of 2, like $22. And then as I'm standing there looking at all the different pillowcases, the jersey type and the regular, and then I saw one that said cooling threads or something like that. Now, my wife is 46 years old. Sometimes get a little hot. I say hot, like temperature hot in bed. She's got to throw the covers off. I figured this would be nice. I wanted her to be comfortable in bed. So I got her these breathable sheets. They're not silky. They're not, the run-of-the-mill ones, but they're nice. They were another $20-something. So I bought her the sheets. Then I got her a little card and stuff. And when she got home from her trip, Mommy's home and Mommy's home. And I had a box up there, just ridiculous size box. It was an Amazon box, and I didn't have anything else to put the bed sheets in. Bed sheets is about the size of a, what do I want to say here? No, I want to describe it perfectly so you know exactly what it is. The bed sheets were so folded up so tightly, it was like, about the size of a Bounce. You know what Bounce dryer sheet, the box? About that big, okay? So 2 of those in this stupid, ridiculous, big Amazon box, and I bought new paper and everything for it. And I put it in front of her when she gets back. I didn't put it in front of her like, here, I'm awesome, you suck. No. She gets in and puts all her luggage down and sits down, and I go, I got you something. You did it. You stop. No, I did. I got you something. Babe, we said we weren't going to get you or get us anything. I know, but it's okay. It's all right. So she opens up the card. It's 2 bulldogs, and they look alike, and we had bulldogs at one time. She's like, oh, this card's so funny. What did you get me, babe? I said, it's nothing, babe. It's just something. Just something. She opens it up, and she's like, what is this? I go, I got you Bounce laundry sheets. No. So she opens up. She's like, oh, these are my, all right, the silky ones, you can have those. I'm going to take the ones that are cooling ones, so I'll take those. So there you go. That's my gift to you. I'll give you the silky ones because I got both because I didn't know which ones you wanted. You can have the silky ones. I'll have the breathable ones, and we're done. And then she goes, I feel horrible, babe. I didn't get you anything. I'm like, babe, we don't worry about it. I'm not in the game to say who got who what and whatever. I said, me and you and I, proper English there, you and I just went on a 2-week trip that I thought in my whole entire life, even when we were flying there, I thought in my whole entire life I would never, ever have the opportunity to fly to Europe and to achieve this and that goal, bucket list type stuff. It was never on my bucket list. I said, so that's a plus in your column. Second of all, I didn't mind our bathroom. I'm a guy. I don't care. There's a toilet. There's somewhere I can shit, shower, and shave. I don't care. You wanted this brand new bathroom, and I'm not sitting there going, well, we need to pinch pennies and all this stuff. I helped you create the idea that you wanted for the bathroom. We got the bathroom, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful bathroom. I love it. I love it. It represents us. Here's some bed sheets or pillowcases. That was it. She's like, I feel bad. I said, you don't need to feel bad. I'll get you Subway. I'm like, oh. So the next night the next afternoon when she came home, she brought Subway home. I'm like, yes, perfect. Silky mayonnaise. I'm all for it. And I was happy with that. I was fine and happy with that. So I hope that she didn't, take offense. Not offense, but you know what I mean. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Ask your ladies. Let's see. Where are we at? Did I talk long enough for you? Did I bore you enough on that one? Speaking of the shower, my tile guy, excellent. But we ran into a sticky situation. And I'll tell you how we both handled it. So stick around. I'll be right back. I don't know if I brought this up before, but I'll bring it up again just in case for new listeners out there. Every time I'm on a plane and the service cart comes by, I always ask for tomato juice. All the time. I don't know what it is. Tomato juice at 40,000 feet tastes so much better than tomato juice like out of my refrigerator on the counter, sitting in the living room type deal. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm getting more bang for my buck. I think I have brought this up because that reminds me. I've said that phrase before, but I was just, I had it on my list here and I was like, on my list of notes of stuff. Tomato juice tastes better in the air. That's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. I had it on my list and I was like going, if I don't sit this and spit it out, it's just going to rattle around in my head and rattle around in my head. And then at lunch or breakfast or dinner or something, I'm going to go, goddamn tomato juice smells out of my head. Tastes better in the air. What the fuck is wrong with you? Nothing. I had to say it. It's like Tourette's. It's mental Tourette's that I have. My brain will sit there and go on and on and on and on. I wake up. When I wake up, now see, this is how it works. I told my wife when we first met, actually probably later on, I didn't want to scare her away right away. I said, babe, in my mind is a radio station playing at all times. At all times. And she's like, what are you talking about? Sorry. The only example I could give her was when we wake up, the alarm would go off and I go, God, I've had that song stuck in my head all night long. And she's like, what is it? And I'll say whatever the song is. She's like, going, great. Now I got it stuck in my head. I go, you know what? Now that I've said it, it's not in my head anymore. That virus is passed on to you. Kind of like the way she passed on the sick virus to me, It's a back and forth. It's a tit for tat type deal. Tomato juice tastes better in the air. My tile guy, who was awesome. He's a real nice guy. He was referred to by Angie and Nathan, new Nathan, because we have old Nathan that lives next door. He's the airline pilot. Haven't talked about him for a lot. Jesus Christ. Haven't talked or said that word in Jesus Christ. Get it together, Travis. I haven't talked about my old neighbor, Nathan, the airline pilot, in a long time. Wonder why. I guess we don't fit into his family lifestyle anymore. They don't need us to fulfill their prophecy of whatever hat that they're looking in to get proverbs out of. I don't know. But new Nathan and his wife, Angie, Travis. That's the way she talks. You have to meet her. Travis, I didn't know. But she was, Brian was, or our tile guy, Brian, was referred to us through them because he did all the tile work. Anyway, great guy. Did a lot of work. Did everything looks great. We have a shower door, glass shower door, because we build a walk-in shower now. We brought custom doors and stuff, and they sent everything but the actual hardware, the actual door and the hinges. And I was like, fuck. I didn't know this until he came out. He's like, hey, they didn't put the hinges and stuff. I called them, but they need your order number. So if you want to call them and just order it and so I said, yeah, fine, no problem. Let me tell you something. I am slowly getting better with understanding that customer service goes a long way. today's day and age, customer service, like physical face-to-face customer service, like at Lowe's and Walmart, because those are the only two places I really go, or anything like that. It's just like they don't care. You know, they're smacking their gum and, you know, next. But online businesses, I've noticed that are taking a little bit better care of people online when they call in. I talk to the door people. Hey, man, you know, this Travis. Oh, Travis, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. Actually, I've never heard from you at all. This is the first time I'm talking to you. How can I help you, sir? Explain my situation. He asked for a couple numbers off the box, off the packaging, the PO number, all that stuff. I gave it to him. He's like, yeah, sure. Unfortunately, it takes about 9 days, business days to ship it out to you. Are you okay with that? We can do it snail mail and all that, but we'll get it out to you. Sorry about that. Our bad. And he goes, I said, yeah, that's no problem. And he said something to the effect of, and I'll play it during the break, a small snippet of it. You might hear Donald Trump in the background, because I've got a clock in the garage that goes at the top of every hour. We will make America great again. We will make America great again. So I don't know if he heard that or not, but he's like going, hey, you know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes, you know, we'll take care of you. Thank you. God bless. Make America great again. And I hung up and I go, well, that's how you do customer service. No questions. No, well, we sent it. He could have easily said, I saw right there, we sent it to Lowe's and Lowe's dropped it off at your house. Tough shit. You have 2 glass panes that you can't do anything with. We can sell you another set. He didn't do that. No. He said, yes, sir, right away. Sorry about that. Anything else I can help you with, Travis? I'm like, no, I think I'm good. You want to go down to a bar and have a couple beers? You sound like a very fun guy type deal. No, I got stuff to do. But one thing I was pissed off about during our bathroom remodel is I wanted a brand new toilet. I wanted the Champion 4. When I worked at Home Depot, I worked for Home Depot for 20 years in my early 20s and 30s. The Champion 4 by American Standard was the staple of toilets. It was double glazed, which means shit literally does not stick to the bowl. It can flush a thing of golf balls. That was their big thing. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, ooh, one day, Travis, you'll have enough money to buy your own Champion 4 toilet. Now, they were, I think, $220 back then. Now they're like $199. Price, I guess, inflation has never affected the American Standard Company. So 30 years later, I get my Champion 4 toilet. Not happy with it. Maybe they can reach out to me. When I say the double glaze, that was the big selling point, because my wife was like going, when you're done in there, can you please make sure that, this is, yes, babe. Yes, I'm sorry. She's like, I have to use that bathroom too. Not that I'm pissing all over the floor or doing anything like that. Why are all my shows about pissing and shitting? Why? Sorry. It's what happens when you're 53 years old. I say, yes, babe. Yeah, no problem. I understand. I'm a guy. I do guy things. You're a girl. You're dainty and, not prissy, but you know what I'm saying. You wanted things very nice and clean. I'm a guy, shower and shave. That's all I want to do. Yes, caveman. I will make sure the toilet is clean for you. That's why I wanted the Champion 4 toilet. It's not holding up. I'm constantly, you guys know more about my bowels and my test results than anyone on this planet should ever know. But, so I'm a little pissed off. What do you do? I don't know. So I'm doing it. So I'm taking care of it. Where are we at on time? I know. Always worried about time. I want to make sure I get everything in. And I'll tell you who I was spying on at my old watering hole. Not my old watering hole. I never thought this day would come. Well, I say that loosely. I knew this day was coming. And I'm trying to figure out what's the best direction for me to go in. And what I'm talking about is my exercise routine. So I'm going to take a quick little break, run downstairs real quick, and then when we come back, I'll dive into something I need to change in order to meet my next level. You know, I've kind of plateaued a little bit, and I'm debating on what to do next. So stick around. I'll be right back. As some of you might know, I do several different podcasts. This one has been up and running for about 4.5 years. I don't know. I've lost track. The entertainment show that I do, I was going through my records and stuff. 15 years I've been doing the entertainment show. It's a weekly show. I do a satire show where it is literally not safe for work. I mean, you want to talk about the rawest of rawest. You want to talk about the 7 things that you can't say on the radio or whatever on television. I put the worst, naughtiest comics, the foulest comics in a different class. I fly right over them. I talk about just nasty stuff, and they're small little segments. It's not my personal views of what I do on that show. Basically, what happens is, I know I'm kind of beating around the bush here. Hey, yo. I do telemarketer calls. I record every single one of them because I think they're funny. Most of them are from the Middle East, and they have a religious type background. There's a lot of taboo things that you can't say or can't do, and the language barrier is completely different, and it's called bad calls. So if you want to listen to those, they're small. Some are 2 minutes long. Some are like multi-parts because they go on for a long time. My goal is to see how long I can keep them on the phone and say the worst, most obscure things possible during those calls. I think I looked at, we have over 500 and something episodes, and they're all, and they range anywhere from like 30 seconds long to a minute and a half to 2 minutes. And then some get into like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. But just to see how long I can keep some of these people on the phone and say the most raunchiest, dirtiest, nastiest things. Aristocrats, if you know that joke. That's essentially what I try to do on that. So you can check us out. I think they're on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts and stuff. Bad Calls Official or something like that. So we had a guest on one of the shows that I do on Monday. We had a guest speaker. I say guest speaker, it's me and another gentleman, and he goes out and kind of finds like a guest, just, hey, what's your information? What do you got going on? Let's talk about your expertise. So halfway through the actual show, the person that was the guest, I don't know. My job is to just run the boat, run the ship, pull the strings, pull the levers, flick the lights. That's my job. The host on the show, it's his show. So he's responsible for getting guests, booking, clients, getting advertisements, doing all that stuff. My job is to sit here and make sure I'm in the chair and doing my job. So halfway through the show, on one of the breaks, the special guest said, and we can talk about that when we start doing the other 4 shows. And I kind of stopped during the break because we're off the air, but everything's recording, so everything's still running in the background. And I kind of looked at the co-host, and I go, hey, is this a one-off thing? Because our contract says if it's more than one show, then there's a financial obligation that has to be met. And he's like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I'm like, okay, because, my time's not for free type deal. His time's not for free. There's an obligation financially, monetarily, as far as keeping the shows up and running. So went through the whole show, wrapped everything up. Nothing was, everything was professional, did the whole entire job and all that. Everything was good. Wrapped it up. Okay, thanks. Thanks for joining us this week. Talk to you later. See you, bye. I don't want to say that, but that's thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. So I'm talking to the co-host. I'm like going, hey, have you talked to her, this person, about basically, quote unquote, buying more airtime, because I don't want to turn this into an infomercial, but I will for the right price. I don't mind doing that. That's what we do. The show is an educational show. So if she's got information, educational stuff, by all means, let me know. I will arrange it in my schedule. We'll set up the timeline and everything of what we need to do. I know I'm getting really into the podcasting world, but this is what needs to happen. He's like, well, yeah, I'll reach out to her. I said, okay, just to let you know, if she wants to do, 2-3 more shows, this is the cost. Yep, no problem. I understand. Now, he's not too familiar with the podcast world, but we have been doing this show for almost 6 years now. So he understands that there is a cost, a price to pay to be on the show, because that show reaches millions and millions of people. I say millions, probably a couple 100,000 people. So we have the platform on that show, that particular show. This show right here, we average, during our views on YouTube, we average anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 views per episode just watching the show, and then anywhere from 50 to 75,000 people who actually download each episode. So there's a kind of a where you can figure it out from there. So I gave him all the information he needed to talk to this person. She comes back and says, you guys need to be paying me. What? Paying you for what? You got a business program? Do you have a website? Do you have anything? No. You need to be paying me for my mind information. The information that in my mind that I'm giving you guys and your listeners. I said, in my mind, of course, it got to be professional. Customer service. First of all, everything you told me or told us here on the show, I already knew. And I'm the stupid guy of the show. So you're not telling me anything we don't already know. You're not telling us any of these, riveting facts and educational things in the horse world that some people don't know. If you listen to that show any length of time, you'll be as smart as me on the show. Let's put it that way. So had some back and forth. But just, am I wrong for her to say the audacity of, you guys need to pay me for my information? Who else are you going to tell this information to? I looked at your Facebook. You're not even on Facebook. You don't even have a website. You don't even have a book. You don't have a movie. You don't have nothing. You don't even have one of those, what do they call them? The stats sheets where everyone writes an article and stuff and people pay for the articles. I forget what it's called, but you know where I'm going with this. You got nothing. Your daughter was a international something championship 20 years ago. That's your information? Sorry. So I got a little upset. But thank God for ChatGPT, because I'll tell ChatGPT, write an email that says this feeling, and I'm typing here if you're watching this on YouTube video, fake typing here, and make it sound nice. So it spits it out, and I sent it to her. Haven't heard back. But I was being nice. I was being professional. I was doing customer service. I was trying to tell her that basically the platform and all that stuff. But you're like going, well, Travis, people didn't pay to be on Johnny Carson. They paid to be. No. It's back and forth. It goes around. It goes both directions. It goes both directions on Johnny Carson. When you have guests on the show, they pay to have those people on the air unless it's something outstanding. And they were like going, well, get me, Trent Reznor. Why was I thinking Trent Reznor for some? Give me Brad Pitt. Give me Brad Pitt right now. No, production companies do promo things, and they want, we'll give you, I don't know, $10,000, $50,000 to have Brad come through and do for his new movie or something. That's the way it works. Sorry, but we have the platform. You're the guest who wants to promote their stuff on our platform. A little behind the scenes there. It makes me sound, I know, Now saying out loud, it makes me sound like a bad guy, but I'm sorry. This is my full-time job. This is what I do. A lot of people don't understand that. Oh, it's a hobby. You just sit up there and talk in front of a microphone. Yeah, I can do that all day long, but to produce a quality product for people to actually listen to, that's a different story. I know I got new listeners out there like going, Jesus Christ, take it down a notch. Bring the funny. Bring the funny. I will. Hold on. Between you and me, I'm tired of fucking running. There's the funny right there for you. Not that I'm tired of it. It's getting monotonous for me. Angie and Nathan, new Nathan, when I first met them, when they first moved in 2 years ago, she tried running the same pattern that I do. She's like, I don't know how you do it, Travis. She's like, I get so bored out here. I got to go back inside and do something. I'm like going, find a good podcast, stick your earbuds in, something that's, and that'll help your well-being. I listen to news articles all the time. So it helps me in my job, my profession that I do, and just zone out. That lasted for like a week, I think, with her. But now I'm coming up on this past March is 3 years of me doing this. The 3 years, I don't know. I embellish a lot. But I was telling my wife, I'm like going, after coming back, drinking tomato juice in the air, going to London, Paris, Amsterdam, eating all that great food, coming home with bloody gums, and my triglides are a little high still. I'm like, I think I need to take it up. I think I'm plateaued out. And my wife's like, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, we're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. I bought a bicycle. Oh my God, it's an awesome bicycle. I say bicycle, mountain bike. It's a cross-country type bicycle. I say mountain bike. It's a generic term. 27-inch. The rims are 27-inch. It's got disc brakes. It's got, 18 gears and all that stuff. The problem that I have with riding a bike here in the country 2-lane roads is because it's country 2-lane roads. And the roads aren't flat, not like in Florida. Man, I could ride all day long in Florida. Up and down and back and forth and to and from or whatever. I can do 32 miles without even breaking a sweat in Florida. Here, you're talking about a 27-degree pitch up and then a 37 degrees pitch back down. So you can go, 1.2 miles up the hill. Well, once you hit the top of it, you're going 31 miles per hour down the hill. And there's no cardio on that. You're just trying to hold on to your fucking life while you're going down the fucking hill and pray to God you don't hit a rock and fucking twist your handlebars up and shoot off that bicycle like a fucking rocket ship. So that bicycle still hangs up in the garage because I'm like, babe, I'm scared to death. If I was in my early 20s, I would do that all day long. My 50s, 52, 53, well, I'm 53 now. I can't do that shit. I'm so scared I'm going to fucking end up in a ditch and no one's going to find me until the buzzards get me. So I said to my wife, I'm going to I think I'm going to join Planet Fitness again. And you're like, well, Travis, there's nothing around your house. I know that. This is my dilemma. This is the dilemma I'm running into. And I'll get into the lunch date dilemma that I'm working on too. Oh yeah. Believe me, it gets good. I said, Planet Fitness, I've always been somewhere in time joined Planet Fitness. The closest one is about 26 miles from us. So that means, hear me out. I'm all about the numbers. I have to get in my truck, drive to Planet Fitness, park the truck, walk inside, do my workout, come back, drive all the way back home, and then technically start my day. Where I had the luxury is here doing my run, I literally walk down the end of my driveway, 50-yard driveway, take a left, walk down another 50 yards, past Dead Charlie's house, take a left, and then start my run. Takes me about an hour to do 4 miles, and that's that jeffing, that walk, run, on, off. Come back home, I can start my day. So if I get out there at 8 o'clock, takes me an hour and 15 minutes. I'm back at the house by 9:15. I can have breakfast. I can do all the stuff. Meanwhile, I've already done all my chores. I fed the animals and stuff. If I do the Planet Fitness thing, it's going to cost me now $15 a month for me to drive 18 minutes. I timed it the other day to see if it was worth it. 18 minutes to go to the gym to work out for, if you want to keep it in the same parameters, let's say 75 minutes for me to do my walk. Hour and 15 minutes, 75 minutes. For me to drive 18 minutes and then 18 minutes back. Let's round it up with traffic. So that's 40 minutes right there. For me to do 35 minutes of workout, am I going to still get the caloric deficit working out in that 35 minutes to get me back home at a reasonable time? Because I don't want to leave at 9 o'clock in the morning, come back at 11:30 in the afternoon. I say afternoon, early mid-morning, and then half my morning's gone. So that's where I'm at right now. And I got till April 10th because it's $1 to join and $15 a month to do that. I don't know. My wife goes, well, why don't you do like a hybrid? Run, do your jeffing, your run walk, Monday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do the gym at Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then maybe a day on the weekend, when I'm not in town. I don't know. I'm still debating. I want to go down there, customer service, you ready? I want to go down there and say, hey, can I join for like 7 days? Do you have like a 7-day pass? Because I'm trying to figure out some math here. I'm trying to figure out if I can get a good workout in the time frame that I want. In that 35 minutes that I have to do a workout. I'll do bench press, I'll do leg lifts, I'll do whatever. I'll do, on Tuesdays, I'll do all upper body. Thursdays, I'll do lower body. Am I going to get the same caloric deficit, the burning of calories in this workout to make it beneficial for me? Can I do that for 1 week and just see? Will you let me come in here, please? Pretty please? With tomato brown sugar on top? I don't know. So I've been spying on this guy. I say spying on him. I'm just trying to make myself known in the background. And I've been doing it for a while because I've got another goal, another option that I want to do. And I want your opinion on that as well. And I'm going to give you all the information that you need to make that decision for me. Okay? Got it? Get your pens and paper out. Tell the kiddies to go away because it's going to get violent. I'm not talking about my bowel movements or anything, but we'll talk about something that I've always done. I've constantly done it, and I've always achieved it. And this is another rung up the ladder that I'm trying to achieve. So stick around. I'll dive into that when we come back. So I'm sitting in this bar. How many stories start like that, right? And I go to this bar. It's called Iron Thunder. Love it. The food there is, I don't want to say it's phenomenal, but it's not your typical bar food. Everything has a little bit of a spin, a little bit of twist, almost like a bistro type thing. But they do basically like wings, but wings with a twist. They do chicken sandwiches, but chicken sandwiches with a twist. I mean, everything's got a little bit of twist to it to make it a little bit stand out a little bit. It's great food. Everything's fresh. Everything is always hot and fresh and made to cook to order. So like when I order fries, I know the fries aren't going to come out and they're going to be ice cold. My dad, he'll get them. They're not hot enough. Dad, you don't have any sensors in your mouth left anymore. You're 79 years old. They're hot, really. I'll get onion rings next time. Okay, Dad, there you go. Boiling hot oil on your face. Then now you know. So I would go to this bar always around lunchtime after 12. That's my rule. Always been my rule. Never have a beer or any kind of cocktail or anything like that before 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock is a cutoff or the start time and the cutoff at the same time. So I was sitting in this bar and I noticed these couple guys that came in a couple times and I was like I'm looking at their shirts. They got their work shirts on. They got the work hats on and stuff. And I looked and I go, never heard of that before. And it was a local radio station. So this is when I first moved to this area, to Marshville. Now we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. A small little town called Marshville. And so I looked up their logo or the station. And they're on the AM and FM dial. Some of these AM stations that can't, hold their own, they kind of fold over to the lower end of the FM dial. I'm not going to get into how the semantics of how, is it semantics? I'm not going to get into the details of how that works. But a lot of times that's what happens. And it's owned by one guy. One guy owns this station. One station. It's not a Clear Channel station. They're not around anymore. iHeart gobbled them up. It's not an iHeart Radio. It's not a Beasley. It's not a Cox. It's not any of those stuff. This guy owns the station himself. So it's one guy. One guy owns the station. And I listened to it, and they literally, Monday through Friday, it's a morning show. And then after that, it's Swap Meet, which is so, if you know anything about radio history, Swap Meet is the easiest, cheesiest way to make money for your station. Because what they do is you pay them $25 to tell them that you've got something for sale. It's Swap Meet. So they do that for a half hour or so, probably to pay the bills. I know it's to pay the bills. And then they run, they have a couple brokerage shows, and brokerage shows means someone pays to be on the air there. Hello, yeah, to be on the air on their station, and they can basically do what they want, like an infomercial type deal. We just talked about that. That's how it works. And then after noon, 2-3 o'clock, they just run. You can pay a small licensing fee for a syndicated show. So then you get, like, back in the day, Howard Stern would be on there. And then Alex Jones back in the day, and all the other stuff, Bloomberg News, and they just run news reports, and then that was it. Their consistent live show started at 9 or 7 a.m. Monday through Friday and would end at 12. So for 5 hours, it was live radio on this small little station here in Marshville. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like going, Jesus Christ. I don't want to say they suck, but they've been doing it for a while, and everyone knew everybody. Hey, Jeremy Teen Dawn Durham, how you doing? How's your sister doing? They find out if her leg was broken? Yeah, man, her leg was broken. All right, cool. Thanks. Next caller. And it's so country backwoods CB talk radio. And I said to myself, well, I could do. They don't know what kind of gem they have here in their own hometown. They don't. So I wrote them an email. And it's just 3 guys on the show. You got the program director, who's the host of the show for 5 hours. The guy who owns the station, he wants to hear his voice. Worst radio voice ever. Talks like this. And yeah, Jimmy. Oh, yeah, I know the Jesus, back away. Stop sucking on the microphone. And then the other guy, he's just a laugh track. He's just like, yep, yes, man, No quality of any kind of production, but that's this area. They've been on the air for, I think they said 20 years or 15 years or something stupid like that. I don't know if these 3, the guy who owns the show plus the other 2 knuckleheads, have had it that long. I think he bought it in, I'm going to say 2018, somewhere around there. Because you can look at the records. It's public records. So I sent him an email. I'm saying, hey, look, if you ever need someone to step in, to run the board or do something, if you need co-hosts or anything like that, let me know. Wrote him a nice email. Here's my stats. Here's all my records. Here's my listening audience. All that. Nothing. Zippo. Now, the reason why this is a challenge to me now is because prior and during when I met my wife, I would look at situations. I wouldn't just go get went to college, did all that stuff. When I applied for a business to go somewhere and work, I would look at the structure of how that company was run, and I was trying to figure out my opportunity, how quickly I can move up that and work the system. Hey, you're not doing this right here. This is what you need to do here. Boom, I move up a peg. This and that and that. I've done it many, many, many times and done it very, very well, to where I was running stores, to where I was running things, to where I was the one that people called on when they had decisions and matters that need to be fixed. There was a production company that I worked for. I might have brought it up several times. I don't know. I started working in the warehouse, and I saw, I'm like going, man, I know exactly how this needs to run. You got a bunch of knuckleheads here. I don't want to say I took advantage of them, but I'm like going, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So I would, walk up and I'm like going, hey, what if we did this way? And, the logistics of trucking, what if we kind of moved this around and stuff? And boom, within 2 years, maybe 3 years of working for this company, I was running the whole entire Orlando division, the Southeast division of this company. Just by walking in the door and going, I think I can do something here. When I moved up here to Charlotte, I took over a small paper company here in Charlotte. It was like I don't want to say it was not I needed a job. I needed a job because I came from Orlando doing radio and all that stuff. Charlotte market, I didn't know anyone here, so I had to go, quote unquote, get a physical job. I knew warehouse, I knew logistics, I knew trucking, I knew all that stuff. Walked into a place, a small paper company here in the Charlotte area, and took over that place and created new documents, created new metrics, did all this stuff. I was, flown all over to the other branches and stuff. And they were like going, hey, look, this is what Travis has done. Let's see if we can, fold this into our company and make everything more mainstream. I've done it a million times. And I say a million times, I've probably done it on one hand 5 times. I've done it several times. And businesses where I've been there for a while, not like 1 or 2 years. I've been there for, 4, 6, 7 years. I always do a 5-year plan. I always do myself a 5-year plan. If once I hit my 5-year, if there's nowhere for me to move in the next 2 years, I'm out of there. I'm like, all right, see you later. Here's my notice. And that usually what happened. So with this radio station, I've written them several times, emails, followed up emails, all that stuff. And I go, I'm not hitting the points. I can't get in there. I can't get in there. And you're like, well, Travis, you just, brag that you do 4 podcasts. You start on Monday, you end your day on Friday after I do this show, because we broadcast this show every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once I get done with editing and stuff, I'm done at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever it is, on Friday. That's a long fucking week for me. I'm sorry. Well, trying my shoes. You get lucky. You all of a sudden you just talk on the radio. Yeah, but you have to talk on the radio and be entertaining at the same time. One of my mentors growing up in the radio industry said, you can make it anywhere in radio if you can do one of 2 things. 1, entertain people. 2, talk about anything. And the example that he gave me, and the early portions of this show, This is 50, when I had Shane on the show, I said, all I need you to do is be able to entertain me and talk about anything. He goes, well, what do you mean? I said, okay, here's the topic. John Wayne and a ceiling fan. Talk for 20 minutes about that. And he did. I said, okay, I got it. But when you tell people, oh, all you do is talk on the air and do all that stuff, throw them that test. I want you to talk about a ceiling fan and John Wayne for 20 minutes and make it entertaining. A lot of people will go, well, ceiling fan goes around in a circle. And then so on and so forth. I've done in military. I've told that story 27 times, up and down, back around, and over. So when I see this little radio station that's independently owned, I'm thinking to myself, this might be a good place for me to, quote unquote, not retire, because I won't retire until something doesn't work, whether my voice shoots or whatever. But I can make, I'm never going to make the money that I do here, but money right now is not important to me. Well, then bring the other lady on your show there, dummy. No. It's important to me because everything that you see here in the studio has to make money. But if I can get a job hosting or co-hosting or being a part of this small little Podunk Town radio station, and I say Podunk Town, I'm not talking about the radio station itself. I'm talking about the town that we live in. To where I can dedicate my talents, or whatever you want to call it. Very talented. Yeah. Talk about a ceiling fan and John Wayne for 20 minutes. And then tell me who's talented. And add something to this community. That's where I see the advantage. Add something to this community and kind of lighten my load as far as my availability here on the property. If I can work from 7 to 12 and help these guys out to achieve goals, because it's going to come around full circle. If you get better numbers, you can offer more sponsorships. You can get more money for the broadcast, for that station. Can I bring that to them? Yeah, hell yes, I do. Confidently, I can sit here right in front of you and say, yes, I can bring you your station, this little station here in the Marshville area. I can bring value to your station and increase your profits, your margins. I guarantee it. And I've written them letters over and over and over again. And I say over 3 times. I have. Wrote the initial one, the follow-up, and then one more saying, okay, basically, hey, I know I don't want to bother you. I know I'm not in your field right now. You don't have any openings. Please keep me in the back of your mind, if whatever. The sad part is I never got a response for either one of them. And I emailed the program director and the owner of the station as well. So that's my next goal. That's my next hurdle. That's in the back of my mind. I'm like going, I could do that. I could fix that station. I could be part of that station and make it a better product. I can make it a better, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I can do it justice. Maybe not that. No. Scratch that one. And make a little bit of money at the same time. Can they pay me the podcasting money? Probably not. But I'd be okay with that. If I could lessen my load by 35%, I'll take a 35% cut. I'll take a 45% cut. But, so that's why I eat at the Iron Thunder, because they go in there after they get off the air at 12 o'clock and sit there and have lunch and sit there and chat and all that stuff. And I sit at the bar and I just kind of, look at the TVs, because, it's a sports place and they got all the TVs around, and listen to them and just kind of making myself known in the background, because I know eventually what's going to happen is, don't I know you from somewhere? I recognize your voice from somewhere. In Orlando, I used to get that a lot. At a Subway, I order my food, and a girl turns around. She's like, I know that voice. Are you whatever character I was playing on whatever radio station? Yeah. How are you? So we'll see. I know. That's my next goal. Not this year, maybe this year. I don't know. I don't want to sell myself short. So we'll see. All right, guys. I appreciate you listening to me work all this stuff out. I'll talk to you later. Okay. See you. Bye. Bye-bye. Take care. See ya. Call me. See you. Bye. Take care.